Hey, cheers. So we got a cup of coffee in front of us, Baltimore Coffee Company. This is the beginning. Let's just kick it off. So,
I like it.
The White Owls. So we got my main man, Chris D. De Palma. I got to say, this is like amazing. You and I connecting back over the years and coming to this point where a lot of people were probably saying, what the heck are you doing starting a podcast? But every time I see somebody, they're like, really? So I think it is absolutely amazing that you and I have started this. So to kick it off for everybody, Dario Cavazos from G-Burg, born and raised back in the early 70s. My parents came out here, and then I met this cat, Chris De Palma. Hooty hoo. Hooty hoo. See Weezy. D. And we connected when? What year would you say we connected? Like, legitimately.
Man.
I always think about that.
I mean, it was 94.
94?
93, 94.
93, yeah. And what was that? What was that moment that you remember? Because I'm trying to go back to that.
I have to imagine it started from me riding the bus over to Quail Valley.
Quail Valley.
Because I had a mutual friend
yeah.
in the neighborhood. But then...
Yeah, okay, that's good.
But that's, 93, 94. I mean, it was definitely the last year of middle school, maybe the first year of high school. I think ninth grade was probably...
the first time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I used to come over to Quail Valley and rode the bus.
Yes.
And y'all all rode the same bus. I used to, where I lived.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is Chris De Palma here, co-host with
Co-host.
Dario Cavazos.
D. Weezy.
So, and yes, the podcast is amazing. We have amazing guests with amazing stories and guidance and input and just good impact.
Yeah.
And you're right. Everyone that we've talked to, people who listen to premieres of episodes, they say, "Man, y'all are doing it. You're doing it.
That's half the battle.
You've got it. You've got it." Like,
yeah.
That is one thing that when people hear it, they're like, "Man, you guys, you've got it."
Right.
So, anyways, back
to the beginning.
where I lived at the time, and it's funny, I thought of this the other day too, because someday this will be a topic.
Sure.
Neighborhoods.
Oh.
Quail Valley, Flower Hill,
Yes.
East Village. See, in my
that great?
in my
Yeah.
neighborhood,
You're
East
starting to spark
Village,
some energy
East
here.
Village,
Uh-huh.
there was also Picton. So Picton, there was like, we used to play football against neighborhoods, right?
This is all making
so
sense.
where I lived in East Village, which was probably the little more uppity area, I would say at the time.
And for some of the local folks, that might be like an Oakdale area that I'm
Yeah.
thinking, yeah.
And Quail Valley would be, what, Hillcrest or something? I don't know.
Yeah, along the lines of that.
yeah.
Oh, it would be like Spring Ridge, yeah. Or like a little bit further south.
I don't know the area well enough. But and where I lived, it was
or like in Urbana.
a few miles. Right? I mean, when I lived in East Village, it was a few miles from Quail Valley, right? So
Yeah, but you could ride your bike over there.
No, what I would
you
do
couldn't.
is I would get off my boost.
Yeah.
And I would put on my rollerblades, and I would grab a hockey stick, and I would ride my rollerblades down Snoffer School Road.
Stop it.
If you remember back in the day, Snoffer School Road was paved, but the sides of it were like all broken up gravel. Anyways, I used to ride my rollerblades down Snoffer School to Centerway or whatever. And
Yeah.
So I would ride a couple miles, come play roller hockey with y'all.
So you remember playing with Craig?
Yeah, Crazy-ack.
Crazy-ack.
Remember, we played with Craig, Ryan, Phillip, Russell, David. Do you remember the dude, the weirdo with the long hair who was going to be our coach?
Oh, God, no, I don't even remember.
Okay, we'll
Chris.
get off track.
Yeah,
sorry. Anyways,
yeah.
so we go back. We've been friends. I was looking at the picture that I sent to you. I sent it to your mom, too.
Yeah, God.
You didn't respond to me, but that's fine. But the picture, I mean,
It was a beautiful
we're
picture.
over 30 years.
Oh, that's what's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, so when we started talking about shaping this podcast, we This was in 2024. It was a year ago. It was October of 2024.
Yeah.
We had a discussion. We had a vision.
Right.
You had a vision. You can talk about that. My vision at first, because of the position I've always been in, just on leadership and leadership development and individual employee development, my first goal was development and leadership.
Yeah.
Your goal at the beginning when we first talked was what? Do you remember?
I always remember. It's helping youth.
Yep. So what's happened is we've gone a year now.
Thank you for putting me under the pressure there.
I mean, I've got 18 episodes that we've recorded.
Isn't that crazy? You got to start somewhere.
The majority of them, though, are Dario and I fumbling our way through. It was more of a
learning
and recording the process.
Yeah.
But as we've gone through this, I think my goals have evolved. My motivation and goals have evolved to help. It has become more around the youth. I mean, as Dario and I talk about young men and the struggles these days, and as we connect it to some of the things we experienced. So I quickly reset what I had as expectations because I think there's a huge opportunity to help the youth.
Yeah.
So you've had the vision to help the youth, particularly young men.
Yeah.
But you've had this vision, and what we've done, what I love, is we've been able to combine it. We've been able to combine the leadership aspect because of all the incredible leaders we're interviewing.
Yeah.
So we're having all these incredible leaders come on the podcast. These guys are leaders, they're mentors, they're in the community, they're coaches.
Yeah. I'd also say that they're confident men.
Yeah.
You know? They're just fathers and normal guys who have taken it to the next level. I mean, to be a head coach or, to struggle and to get ahead,
and to be in the spotlight.
That's encouraging.
Yeah, and actually what's been amazing about the conversations, you have a conversation with someone who's in a leadership position, whether they're a head coach, whether they're a defensive coordinator, whatever their position is, but you get to hear about their struggles. So you get to hear about people who are just like any other ordinary person who might be in the spotlight, who might be considered a public figure.
Yeah.
But you get to hear their stories of perseverance, and you get to hear their stories of resiliency, being resilient. You get to hear them talk about, when I was in high school, I wasn't connected with my parents anymore. I was on my own.
Yeah.
And I had to take the initiative and talk with counselors and talk to people to figure out, okay, I know at a young age I knew what I had as my goals.
Yeah.
And they were able to talk through this with counselors and get support from counselors and get set up with how do they get to college? How do they get financial aid for college?
What about you, though?
We get to hear about all these stories. And I think what has brought us together, other than 30 years of friendship, many common bonds, common interests. For one, it's always rooted in we've always held each other, I'd say, accountable in some fashion, but also constant conversations about growth and development. We are constantly looking at how do we get better? How do we be better? How do we be better parents? How do we be better men? We're constantly talking about it.
If you don't mind, I'd like to interject.
Yeah.
What's the name of this podcast?
And I will get to Air and Opportunity.
That's what it all came down to.
Nothing but air and opportunity.
Nothing but. So
which is another way of saying where there's a will, there's a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. As long as you're breathing, and you said it
exactly.
As long as you're breathing, and you're able to, put some effort into it, then you're able to accomplish something more the next day.
So 30 years. And I cannot believe 30 years, but I just want to share with everybody why I'm here today and why I think you've saved my life, to be honest with you.
Stop.
No, I'm serious. I'm serious. This, and I probably struggle with sharing this with people, but I had a problem with drinking alcohol. And it's been a part of my family's life. But if it wasn't for you going way out of your way to pick me up one day when I called you, and I've shared this with my boys, and I'm not afraid anymore to share this with the public, is that I got locked up. And I think some people are afraid to talk about the things that have happened in their lives that they're not proud of. But, you know, there's one thing that I want my boys to know, and that is if I ever leave this planet, don't ever lie. You got integrity. Say what you're going to do and do it. But then also don't be afraid to share your struggles. And if it wasn't for you who came down to pick me up in where, Easton?
Yep.
At what, I think it was like in the afternoon or morning, and then we went and got breakfast. Brass balls.
Well, for one,
I can't even remember what time it was.
You called me at 5 o'clock in the morning. I was asleep on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
In East Village. Asleep.
What did you pick
and
me
I
up
get this
in?
call, and Dario's like, "Dog, I'm in jail. I'm at the State Trooper Barracks in Easton. Come get me." If you come get me, I'll take you to breakfast. And I was like, bet. So I hopped in my car. No idea. I don't know what I was driving. Don't know.
You don't see?
Don't know.
It's that part of it.
And then got to Easton, grabbed you, and then we went over to Brass Balls Saloon, had breakfast.
Why'd you do that? Why'd you come pick me up?
Well, so that is something that I later found out that is a gift and a curse, a strength and a weakness, because I love, I guess, acts of service for people.
Beautiful.
Right? But it's obviously a weakness too because it's too much sometimes.
Yeah. No.
So
I love it.
So
I just want to say thank you.
Yeah.
Officially and publicly.
So
hold on a second now. Don't overlook that. Don't move past that for one thing. If it wasn't for you, I'm serious. I don't know
Yeah.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So the interesting thing
I'll never forget that.
Is you don't know it at the time when you're growing up. My mom always used to tell me, you've got alcoholism in your family on both sides, your mom and your dad. You got to be careful. You got to be careful. And when you're growing up, you're like, you're being dramatic. Stop.
Right.
But what I realized, and I didn't realize it until 2 years ago, is that I spent some of the majority of so much of our years of, 18 to, drinking. And we drank so much. Of course, like any college kid. I didn't go to college, but you did. But we partied so much. But what I realized there was never like just a little. It was always too much. Always.
Way too much.
And I also realized as I got older, man, I hate that person. I hate that person when I get drunk.
Look back.
When I get drunk.
Yeah.
You go through like you're fun for a little while, and then you just I didn't like
angry.
Yeah. Or just even
for me it was angry.
Yeah,
I get mad.
Yeah, it didn't. It's not a good representation of who I really am.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is, years ago, you stopped drinking, and what you don't realize is, I saw that, and I just stored it away. I was like, And people always do this. They're like, oh, I couldn't do that. Oh, I wish I could. Right? But I took it as, damn, man, I wish I could. and then a couple years ago, Christy and I decided to stop, or at least slow down. But I mean, really, we've stopped. So
you kind of do. It kind of ends up being that.
Yeah. And I always held in the back of my mind, I remember, that you have stopped. And I also, when you talk about saving someone's life, or you talk about looking up to someone.
Wow.
The amount of respect that I have for you, and I mean, I respect a lot of people, but this is a level of respect and looking up to you because you've made a shift as you got older. Of course, a lot of it is kids, a lot of it is Betsy.
Yeah.
A lot of it is,
God.
the responsibility that you have as a man, but you just, are such an amazing person, and you constantly strive to do better. I look at Strava and see you on there at 5 o'clock in the morning, and it's one of the reasons that I do what I do. And I look at how great you look and how healthy you are. And anyways, and we talk about these things often.
I feel like I need a hug.
So when we talk about how we ended up here, these are the conversations we're having constantly, where we're talking about taking care of ourselves. We're talking about grown man shit, but at the same time, our goal is to hit the youth. But there's, my goal too is for a father to hear it and say, "Damn, these guys."
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes, that's a very good point.
Going to the doctors and getting physicals and prostate exams and fasting, and so we're constantly talking about healthy stuff. So I'll rewind back. So when Dario brought up, and I think it's important that we talk about where we started, where we came from.
Absolutely. So,
I first started. My parents divorced. I was 5, and we lived in an area. It was a different area than Laytonsville and East Village, where I later grew up. But we had a lot less.
Yeah.
And so I went to elementary school till 2nd grade there. It was just me and my mom.
Where was that at again?
It was. I went to Summit Hall Elementary.
Summit Hall. Yeah, we got to represent.
And we lived in West Deer Park.
Smurf Village.
Yeah. Well, that's outside of Washington Grove.
Sorry.
So, but 3rd grade my mom married my stepfather.
Yeah.
And we moved out to Laytonsville, and so that was like culture shock because we
still
went
love
from
Laytonsville.
We went from like living in an apartment to living in a mansion.
Yeah.
And
gosh, that would have been crazy.
Man. And going to school with people that just grew up different, and I think what I ended up doing was just started right then, causing trouble, running my mouth, being a troublemaker, trying to be the center of attention, being the class clown, being a daredevil, doing everything that people didn't want because it got me the attention. And it being new there, it felt like you were being accepted when really people were laughing at you. They weren't laughing at you. But I learned that later on. But then you go on and lived in that area, and then ended up going to Gaithersburg High School. My mom divorced my dad. So then now at this point, I'm like 12.
Yeah.
Coming into high school, 14 or whatever. My mom
I always
ends
loved
up in a
I looked up to
relationship.
you in high school, man. I wanted to be like you.
My mom ends up in a relationship with a woman, and they've been together ever since. It's been 30 years.
Alethea.
Yeah, and so, again, back to what has driven the passion for us to connect with people and help them has been, I run a lot, and when I'm running, I think about our conversations, I think about our interviews, and I think about, what is the one thing that I want to help people with, and why us, why, and really what it is I want to help connect people with others who have gone through issues or situations or these types of lifestyles, but also to understand, I grew up, father and mother divorced, stepfather, mother divorced, mom ended up with a woman. So now I'm in the prime years where you really need some guidance, preferably on both sides, male, female.
Yeah.
Right? You're coming into high school, you're talking about things like sex, fighting, all kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And you're talking about things that you can learn, you can pick up, but the interesting thing that hit me yesterday when I was running, thinking about our conversation today.
Yeah.
My male people in my life who helped shape me were my friends, were you.
Interesting.
You, Justin, Miguel, Kevin.
Yeah.
But that's who I relied on.
Isn't that crazy?
And see, at the time, that can go good and bad, right?
Yeah.
If you're being shaped by people and it's the wrong people, you can end up in a bad situation.
I think you have done phenomenal.
Some of it, as you grow up, you
realize
you find other mentors. So and that's the goal.
Yeah.
That's the goal for us.
That is.
Okay, you guys talk about you grew up. At the time you didn't have a lot of male mentorship. You got it from your friends, great.
Yeah.
But say I want more. Say I want to elevate that What do I look for? What is it? And so those are
Yeah.
the conversations we're having with leaders and for people who are mentors and coaches and people who are in the community. And they're telling us, as we ask these questions, what is it that someone should be looking for, or what are the qualities or the attributes a mentor should have? That's a good way to say it.
Yeah.
And it's, communication, always saying what you're going to, say, do what you say and say what you do, but following through, to build trust with people. It takes constant effort. If you say you're going to be somewhere, be there. If you say you're going to do something, do it. Constantly communicate. And then the other side of it is, how do we help the youth? How can I be coachable? How do I interact with a mentor? I haven't had a male figure in my life ever.
That is exactly why we're here.
Right? What do I do?
Yeah.
And so some of the guidance and the input they're giving us is, to build that trust, it's constant communication on both sides.
Yeah.
You've got to say what you do or say what you're going to do and mean what you say. But then there's also a part of it where the other goal is to help folks who might be going through a tough time, who don't know what it takes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm thinking through this. And we talk to these coaches and like the people on the team, what are some of the things that they're working through that you see them work through?
Yeah.
And, they're like, some of the toughest kids that we've had that have excelled are the ones that have, mental toughness and they're positive thinking and they're, they can have bad days and they can get kicked down, but they're the ones that are always looking up saying, I got to pick myself up. I got to keep on fighting. I got to keep on pushing.
Sure.
So our goal is to connect our life experiences. We understand those experiences because we've lived them, but also connect others with more people like that so that we can help them and they can understand that, okay, there's other people that have gone through this. Our goal is to have a roadmap for someone. Like, man, when I listen to this, I get nuggets.
Yeah.
I get nuggets and I get gems that, I can reuse in my life. Like I think about conversations with like Bo Traber, defensive coordinator for TJ. And he talks about when I was younger, I was coming out of high school, I had no parents at the time, kind of separated from my parents from the situations he was going through. But I sat down one day and I knew I wanted to play football. Football was my center. And so I built my goals around that. Whether it's I want to be the best defensive back, I want to be the best running back, I want to be the best. But he made those goals, and then he went to his guidance counselor and was like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know where to start. And she helped him. And then it was like, okay, what do we do about financial aid? What do we do about school? And then he went to college.
People will have to listen to that.
Our goal is to connect those stories and those resources, because that's the other thing is all these people that we're interviewing, the majority of them, they're like, I want to help. How can I help? And
of course.
And so, and
how do you scale it? And I think the biggest thing that I've learned over the years is, for you and I probably both, is those male figures, but also trust. Having trust in, a coach or a person who you look up to. Now, sometimes we don't have fathers.
Yep.
And that's my biggest thing is going and saying, all right, there's a little kid who's playing football or playing baseball, and his dad is yelling at him. Right?
Yeah.
And some of the greatest people that I know said, never coach your son.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just let them be. You're just a supporting actor
yeah.
in their role. And I sit there and I look or I watch and I'm like, God, what is that kid going through? But here's my thing. How in the world is a 10-year-old or a 9-year-old or an 8-year-old going to be able to listen to a podcast? How do we reach those kids? So are we really talking to them, or are we talking to the parents?
I think it's a combination.
Yeah.
I think the whole there's a couple facets to it.
So there's no more profanity on our podcast, no.
Shit.
Yeah, you better watch out.
I think one of the things that we've realized is we've had to be very involved with our kids.
Yeah.
And there's always a time where you overdo it as a parent because you want better.
Right.
And then you learn, and these are topics that we talk about all the time. How do you back off, and how are they going to learn?
Yeah.
There's a void of male mentorship.
There you go.
Just mentorship
That's exactly
in the world
right.
today. People don't want to.
Or just someone to talk to.
People don't want to open up. People don't want to trust. People are just always mad.
Mad.
But we've had to be very involved with our kids. So I think it's two ways.
Yeah.
One,
Yep.
parents could hear it and say, you might find this interesting. Listen.
There you go.
Right?
Right.
Or
Exactly.
parent might be listening to it in the car, and the kid hears it and says, okay,
Yep.
I hear hooty hoo, and man, okay.
Yeah, those cats.
So, or you get to a point where the message gets out there, and we're on all platforms. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We're on YouTube.
Right.
We're on Twitter. We're
trying to get a YouTube short going.
So that's the thing is, maybe the message gets out, and someone suggests to a friend, listen to this, man. They had good insights. The other thing I thought about is this. People can always give us topics. If there's stuff that you don't want to, if you don't want to talk to a coach or your parent, and there's a question you have, and we can ask it of these leaders and these coaches, or we can talk about it. Bring it up. Let us know.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think for me, the biggest thing, and I'm glad we did this to really kind of kick off our podcast after all those conversations that we've had, is, what's the why and where it all started from. And I, looking back, I go, geez almighty, my mom, single mother, trying her best, deaf, coming from that community, impeccably dressed to the nines when she went to work, so she was my role model. But then my father was really never there.
Yep.
And I'm like, looking back going, geez, how did that impact me? And I think it was detrimental to the point where I had no confidence, right? I mean, I loved my mother. She was a great woman. And then, not having him there, and then all of a sudden, John, my stepfather, stepped in, and, it was hard because I was like, why? I'm the man of the house, But thankful for him to say, hey, well, let's get some discipline in your life. And if it wasn't for him, I'd say, shoot, I think I would be not sitting here today talking to you, and thankful that. But then when I butted heads, I didn't say, oh, that's my dad.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just trust him. That's when I turned to, guys like you and Ryan Santilla's father, who rest in peace. Let me live with him for a couple months, and all the things that I took, but I never really gave back. And I think this is my time to give back to those who may not have a father in their lives. And they're saying, geez, I don't know what to do. And maybe those people that are in their lives who are males are not the best role models. And I'm not saying that's good or bad, but that's just their environment.
Yep. And, and something that you said a few episodes back that stuck with me, and people don't realize it. It's not right or wrong, but someone could look at your situation and say, man, you had Johnny Mac. We'll say all your life.
Yeah.
You didn't, but for a huge portion of it. And yes, the discipline and the experiences, the life experiences, I think he raised us all in some way.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the one thing that you mentioned a while back, and you got to keep it in mind, it helped me put it in perspective, is that's all great, but nothing replaces your father. And there's always
it gnaws at you.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, I've thought so much. We talk about it all the time. With my dad, and my dad's been in my life all my life, in and out.
Yeah,
right?
in and out.
Has it been the picture perfect relationship? Not at
No.
all. He has let me down, and I am 100% sure I have let him down.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
But that same thing is, I look at a lot of the stuff as I grow up, and a lot of what drives me and motivates me for wanting acceptance and wanting to do good for people and I'm sure a lot of that is driven from what was
psychologically
the voids,
speaking. Yes,
right?
yeah.
So I try to be mindful of that. So I say that so that people know you might have a mentor, and that's great, and you might have a male figure in your life, and that's great. It doesn't hurt to have more. It doesn't,
there you go. That's right.
So sometimes it takes, to ask the question or to have a conversation with someone, go outside your comfort zone, have a conversation with someone, and, it goes both ways. For a mentor to do it, for someone, an adult, talk to the youth, just say hi, hello, ask questions. One of the things that we talked to another leader about is, how do you get it going? How do you, and they said, man, just the communication. People just don't even want to talk. They don't want to open up.
Yeah.
They're angry. They're out in public and they're closed off. So just be open to conversation.
Wouldn't it be two things that I think about is like everybody just wants to be loved in some way. Like, God, let me just give you a hug. You know what I'm saying, baby? Come on. But the other thing too is asking for help.
Yeah.
How hard is that?
And see, Bo, he talked about that heavily was, somewhere inside him, he said, if I'm going to go anywhere, I've got to ask for help. So he was in high school, no parents. I mean, let's assume parents in and out of the picture. Let's just assume. But whatever the situation was, not ideal. And he had to say to himself, what on earth am I going to do with my life? What do I want to do? Where do I want to be? And again, he centered it around football, so his goals were football driven. Yep. But and this is what he talks about when we interview him, is it started with me going into the guidance counselor one day saying, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Can you help me?
There you go. That's it, baby.
And my man ended up at
that's
Bucknell.
all it is.
No money, no nothing. Scholarship, playing football, right? So, yes.
I still have a problem with asking for help. But we all do, I think, in some form or way.
Yeah.
But the faster you can do it, the better.
Yeah. Yeah, I go back to the other side to this, other than helping the youth, as I do want to make sure we touch on. We do talk a good bit about how we improve and grow and develop and be healthy. So that's always those are always topics that are out there. We talk about, just as we get older, and just some of those other older men type things.
And I don't think we can leave out that we will be visiting coffee joints, because that's one thing
what
that
you probably hear in the background.
Yeah.
Little espresso shots.
the local yokels. So we have to get to some places in the future.
And the goal will be to add some video with this. We're probably close.
I'm excited, man.
So
this is great.
Coming up.
Yes. Looking forward, baby.
Yep. Coming up, we have many episodes complete. We're interviewing head coaches, assistant coaches, defensive coordinator coaches. Doctors, lawyers.
Train conductors.
People going through struggles, real life struggles with tumors and kidney cancer. Just struggles and real life stories of being resilient. So as we continue to grow, there's 5-6 episodes that are going to be live here. We've got more on the way. We're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify, we're on YouTube, learning all this from the ground up.
That's right.
Twitter. We've got a website, aaronopportunity.com. Yep. On that website, you can find out more about each person we interview. We've got biographies, descriptions about everybody, so you get a little idea of who's who and what's what.
Yeah.
We've got a little more information on Dario and I. We've got a spot there for some merch.
That's your dream. Don't hold out on your dream.
Some Aaron Opportunity merch.
Yeah.
Got some nice hats made, sweatshirts on the way. So
I think we're well on our way, man.
Yeah. Anything else to add?
No, I think just two things. One is, working with, some parents that are willing to share the the stories about their children, and some of the youth that have, even at a young age, have found a way to be not elevate, but take an opportunity and run with it. And I think there's kids out there that could be inspiration to others.
Yep.
So I think if we can get permission from parents to allow us to continue to share their stories, that's going to help some other kid who's at the same age versus a parent or somebody who's older. So I think that's going to be great for us to be able to have that. And last but not least is I would like to inspire but also somewhat incentivize youth to keep that dream alive, and throughout their next 30 years, look back and say, gosh, it was that one podcast, because that's our mode of communication these days versus like TV, and saying, I remember when D Weezy, Chris D had a interview with so-and-so, and that changed my life.
Yep.
And if that changed my life and put them on a different path, or just slightly, incrementally put them on that trajectory, and they come back and say, gosh, and you and I are here 30 years from now, how old will we be?
76.
76. So long-term goals.
Yeah.
That's
now,
long-term.
It's great that you brought that up, because
It's
the reality is this.
What?
This isn't going to be for everybody, right?
No, that's
so people
fine.
who hear it, who don't believe in it, who don't like it.
I call them haters.
Right.
Hating.
And then.
But that's all good.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Well, everyone brings something, so we want to hear the good and the bad. There's ways to improve on both.
Right.
But there's always going to be someone out there that this can help.
Exactly.
And I know that 100% because there are times where, for instance, I don't exercise for months on end.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But a lot of times, a podcast that I listen to about running or exercising, I listen to it during that time, and that keeps me motivated.
Yep.
Right. So I
exactly.
This is.
But you remember it.
Yeah, I do.
And
they're
you got a good memory.
influential. They have an impact. Again, this won't be for everybody.
No doubt.
But the people that it's for, we love that we're here. We're excited. Again, all the social media. Oh, I left out Instagram too.
Instagram.
So, like us, follow us, subscribe, all that good stuff. We thank you. We look forward to more conversations. If you have input, questions, let us know. You can let us know on the website. You can let us know on Instagram, social media. Thank you.
Yeah.